Okay, another episode of On the Judy, and today we have the King of Loans, Michael Hector. What's happening?
You alright? Yeah, I'm good, man. I'm good.
Yeah, all good?
Yeah, all good. All good.
Cheers for coming. You're down at Fulham, so it's only local, not a far one for you to travel. How's the season been treating you?
Yeah, no, the season's been, it's been a bit mad, but yeah, for us, it's just our objective was to stay in the league, obviously, but yeah, it's going to be a tough season because obviously the teams in the league have got good quality.
Yeah.
Obviously, coming from the champ, it's a big step up in how teams are more clinical and stuff like that. But yeah, for us, it's a challenge that we want.
I hear that. What's it like? Like, obviously, you said it's a big step up. What are the major differences? So you said clinical, but can every champ team come up and, stamp their mark? Obviously, we saw Sheffield United and that do a bit last year. Is that what you lot trying to do? Trying to replicate? But they're struggling this year.
Yeah, no, for me, it's a league where if you defend well, you limit the teams to less chance. If you don't make many mistakes, then I think you do well. I think Sheffield United, their first season, were unbelievable defensively. Like, their record was up there with one of the best teams. And for me, obviously they don't score many goals, so they can't concede many. So I think that's why probably this season they're struggling, because obviously they've conceded a bit more goals than they had the previous year. But yeah, for me, the Premier League compared to the champ, you got hell of a lot of match winners on the pitch, and yeah, every team has a match winner and maybe world-class player as well in that. So yeah, it's the most exciting league in the world for a reason, because there's goals and there's exciting players all the time. So yeah.
Anyway, let's talk about you. You're an East London guy, innit? You're into grime and that.
To be fair, I'm into a little bit of grime, but as you get older, you kind of pull away, and you obviously, I've got kids now, so can't really listen to some of the stuff in the car, because obviously you got to listen to some of the nursery rhymes and stuff like that. But yeah, no, for me. What
was growing up like in East? Like me growing up in South, you hear East, like they doing the kidnappings, they're doing did you not experience it, but were people around you that were involved in that sort of things?
Yeah, for me personally, like, sport was a big part of my life. So obviously in the winter I played football. In the summer I played cricket because of my dad. And yeah, obviously growing up, some of the people I went to school with, got into things that are not so good. But yeah, no, that's part of life in London. I think it's on your doorstep. You can't really get away from it. So you just gotta make the right decisions and make sure you're not in the wrong place at the wrong time. I
hear that. Cricket, surely you must have got banned for that. You can't go from, like East London housing estates and then kind of cricket green and that.
Nah, for me, I think because of my dad was such a big personality in the community.
Okay.
That it kind of just, because he played cricket growing up, it kind of just I didn't really get banned from it really as much as in the boys, because sometimes in the summer they would play, depending on like the Caribbean background and stuff. That's their roots and stuff. So obviously they had it in their household. So for me growing up, it wasn't really banned. The school I went to was mostly Asian, so
I heard that.
They love cricket in their country. So for me, it was a thing where that was the sport they liked most, cricket in my school, and football obviously it's a national sport. So but yeah, I think maybe more when I went to a borough, I got banned. I was playing for my borough and I got banned. But in my school, it was calm because most of them, they liked cricket.
Yeah. You started off with like the Millwalls and the Thurrocks, like, academy stuff. Did you play grassroots, like local Sunday teams and that?
Yeah, no, like obviously my first team was like Royal Falcons. That's like Beckton way.
Okay.
Yeah, obviously I played them. They didn't have a year my age when I first started, so I played them my brother's year. And just got into football that way. And then obviously when I come out of Millwall, I went to Pro Star.
Yeah.
Another big team in obviously East London and like the Echo League and stuff like that.
Okay.
And yeah, it was, for me, it was grounding to obviously play Sunday League. Obviously being in an academy to then go back to Sunday League was tough, but for me, playing with my friends, just enjoying football again was important for me at that stage as well.
Yeah, I find a lot of parents don't understand that kids need to make friends, because when you go into academies, they're not your friends.
Yeah.
You only see them twice a week, whereas Sundays it could be like your neighbour, it could be people from school and that. But I read somewhere that you didn't like go through scholarships. You played like non-league, then you went straight to pro.
Yeah.
Was that like a big jump? Could you handle it?
No, for me, it benefited me because it wasn't like fake football. Like for me, I think youth team football was a bit fake in the way that like people are doing cross turns on the edge of the box and like keepers trying to like nutmeg the striker, come into press and things like that. And obviously going into non-league, when I signed for Reading, I went on loan to a non-league team.
Yeah.
You're in a men's changing room, 17-year-old in a men's changing room. These people's bonuses are paying for like bills, water bills, or paying off some of their mortgage. And it's like, if you don't get this win bonus, I'm going to fight you kind of thing. And it was like, yeah, it was a bit nerve wracking, but it benefited me to make me man up and realize how lucky I am to be in the professional setup because of what people are going through obviously in a non-league basis.
So do you think like in the scholarship and the academies, do you think that results don't really matter? It's all about developing, the few players they could bring up to the first team.
Yeah, no, for sure. Obviously you're trying to build winners. That's for the academies to think. But for me personally, all I need is one or two players to make it through that group.
Yeah.
And they've done unbelievable. And I think that's the motivation for the teams. They're using the youth team to produce for the first team. The first team is the pinnacle of the club. That's what runs the club. If the first team's doing well, then everything else gets the benefits and rewards. And the youth team is obviously just a product of that for them to obviously make it into the first team. And that's the be all and end all, is to play in the first team for the youth team players. They're not thinking about, I've done well in the Youth Cup. You want to do well in the Youth Cup, in the FA Cup, and that's the pinnacle.
I hear that. You said you was in like a men's changing room at 17, especially non-league, like coming from like Reading, where everything's done for you, to non-league where it's cold and shower might not be working. Like,
wash your own kit and stuff. Yeah, no,
bring your own kit and that.
For me, it was obviously because I was in Sunday League, so I was still doing that up until when I obviously went to college and then obviously went to Reading. So for me, I was used to it kind of thing. So it wasn't like a big like shock to me. But a lot of players, obviously, when I was at Reading, they were like, why are you going to them teams? Why? Because obviously some of the boys obviously with England and stuff like that, and like their first loan is like a champ team, or their first loan is top of League One or stuff like that. And I'm playing in like the Ryman, not even Ryman Prem, it was like a lower than Ryman Prem.
Oh, serious? So
it was like me, it was a local team just to play games. Yeah. And for me, I was like, I'm learning because the ball's up in the air, I got to win a header and stuff like that. And for me then, that's what I needed. You needed to toughen up and get elbowed in the face, off the ball stuff, and to learn your skills on loan. And a lot of players, obviously in a youth team, they don't learn that. They don't know how to like the combat skills. So when you go to like the top level, these players are doing it to another level, and they're good on their feet as well. So for me, it was a big.
It's that's a good way of putting it. To be fair, the combat sports and stuff, and obviously non-league is like head tennis in it. And being a defender, you must have loved it. How did the don't know if you can remember that far back. How did the team take you? Did they think, oh, we've got a young lad from Reading, he's going to do it all for us? Or did you have to like show you can prove yourself at that standard?
Yeah, no, the first loan I went to, they were like good guys, cool guys. I think it was one of the, I'm trying to think what loan it was, where it's like, I basically had to earn my stripes kind of thing. They were like on me from day one. I got on the minibus. They were like trying to like banter me and stuff like that. My boots and little things where it's like, it's going to happen. Like young player coming into a men's change room, you're going to get bantered, but it's like how you respond to it.
Yeah.
Are you gonna like fold and like go on your show, or are you gonna like banter them back, or like not let it affect you on the pitch? And for me, that was a big thing where, that was more of my growing up, where nothing's given to you. You got to earn it kind of thing. And for me, going to like obviously these non-league loans, it toughens you up. It makes you when you go back to Reading, I want to stay here. I don't want to go back on loan because this is a bit mad. Like I want to like have my kit washed. I want to have the nice food and stuff like that after games and stuff like that. And yeah, obviously non-league, but obviously then was not as professional. Now they're training, most teams are training full time and stuff like that. Whereas they're training maybe once a week, if that.
Did you have to go to training?
No, that was the one thing I didn't have to train, just come to the game. So yeah, for me, that was probably the one good thing, but yeah.
So it sounds like that first loan molded you to stay in the Football League and stay a pro. How did the Reading move come about? I know you said you went to college, but how did it actually...
Yeah, it was actually mad because obviously I was at like a college scholarship set up, and we used to play against academies. Like the guy in charge, Jimmy Gilligan, he's got connections with the FA and stuff like that. So we used to play against Tottenham, Watford, all these good academies. We ended up playing against Reading, and I was playing centre mid that game, and the centre back got injured. So I thought I was playing all right. And then obviously I moved to centre back, had a even better game.
Oh, decent.
And for some reason, like there was one kid at the time, Jordan Abia, he was playing in that game. Okay. So you had all like the first team manager, director of football, all these people that were watching this game, which never would have been watching this game unless this guy was playing, watched the game, and they said, yeah, we like the look of me. Can we have a look at you on trial? So from there, it was just, it was a bit mad that everything happened.
So you're saying you pocketed their star player and then got a move?
No, I didn't pocket him, but he's just lucky that he was on the pitch at the time. So obviously they were watching the game, because normally it was like a Wednesday, it was like a reserve youth team game. So he was like 15 or 14 at the time, playing with the 18s against us again. So it was like a nothing game for them. But obviously because he was playing, they wanted to look at him and see how he was doing.
Right.
Yeah, and
so must have done better than all right.
Yeah, no, for me, obviously playing centre back, I didn't really like playing centre back at them times. And yeah, for me, I wanted to play centre mid. So I was like fuming a bit. So that probably made me more aggressive, because I was angry that I got moved back to centre back when I was playing centre mid. So.
But you're a centre back now.
Yeah, it's mad.
So it's just stuck.
Yeah.
So you get signed by Reading. Dad's buzzing, or did he want you to be a cricketer?
Nah. To be fair, from early, I told my dad that I can't play cricket. I love watching the 2020 and stuff like that. The smaller format, but the longer it goes on, for me, it's not for me. And to be fair to him, he was good. He loved sports anyway, so he wanted me just to be happy as a kid growing up. I played all sports. My family, we was competitive in that way, and for him, he just wanted me to be the best I could be at anything.
That's decent. When you move from East all the way out to Reading country,
digs.
Basically.
Yeah, digs.
Straight dig. How did you deal with that? Have you got the experience? Were you used to, fending for yourself? Obviously, all they do is cook for you in that, but the rest of the stuff.
To be fair, I enjoyed it. I liked it because it's basically you got your room and you can basically do what you want to a certain extent. You can stay up late if you want to stay up. You can go out, obviously come back at a certain time. But yeah, for me, I enjoyed moving out of the house and going to digs for Reading, even though it was still probably an hour and a half, if that, on the train and stuff like that. But yeah, for me, it's like growing up again. I can go do what I need to do with my friends, going to town if you want to go into town, little things where it's at home. It's kind of you need to do this kind of not strict, but they were always wanting me to do something.
Straight away.
Are you not, as soon as I leave school, okay, what are you doing? You going to college? Are you going to work? That was basically what I had to do. I couldn't be chill or anything. It's either you study or you go and get a job. So yeah, for me, obviously, to then get signed by Reading, it was kind of
got a bit of freedom.
Yeah, now I can express myself playing football, which is my job, but also now I can chill with my friends and stuff like that.
Decent. I experienced that at uni. My dad was on me. Got to uni, I was can't chat to me.
Yeah, that's it. I'm moving away.
Just doing your own thing, like you say, doing your own thing. When you're at Reading, you're established. How do they approach you with the loans? Obviously you've done the 17-year-old one.
Yeah.
Come back, done well enough. The next loan's to Barnet.
No, I went Ireland before Barnet.
Oh, whoa.
Yeah, this one was a bit mad because it was just basically I got called, I think it was a Monday or Tuesday, by the chief scout. He'd only scout me, Steve Shorey. Yeah. And he's like, you got a passport? And I was like, yeah, why? He's like, well, you need to grab it, you're going Ireland.
So
it wasn't put to me as in well, how do you feel about Barnet? how do you feel about Ireland? He was like, yeah, you're going to Ireland on loan. And to be fair, I trusted him because of like his experience. So I just thought, you know what, like Ireland League, it's a new challenge. I played there before, obviously different. Obviously, it's the same language and stuff, but it's just different culture, the way they do things. So I thought, why not? It'd be better than playing obviously non-league. And obviously, if you do well, they go into Europe and stuff like that. So yeah, so then like the Wednesday, I was on a flight already like signing to go on loan there for the half the season.
What was that like compared to English football? As you said, it's a different culture, different style. Is it better? Is it a good standard?
Yeah, it's a better standard that they get credit for.
Okay.
But yeah, that is where the banter levels from like non-league. Irish boys are crazy. Like they had like boys. This was like just outside of Dublin, the team.
Yeah.
So they had obviously boys from Dublin, and they come and just like they're like Londoners. They just kind of just mess up the place. And that's when I was like, that's when I grew up kind of thing. Because that's when I moved in with like an experienced English player, and we obviously rented a flat. So that was like when I first had to cook for myself, clean and stuff like that. And that was like the bit where I was like, I grew up. That was the loan where I was like, I had to become a kind of a man now because I had to pay bills and stuff like that, which before I didn't have a clue.
What's the first meal you cooked?
Chicken and pasta, and it was so bad. Like it's like, yeah, for me, I can't cook. I'm not gonna lie, I'm not a great cook. So yeah, the chicken and pasta was dry. I just made sure I had to wash everything. I was obviously talking to my mum. She's like, make sure you wash everything. And it didn't come out well. So yeah, I ended up getting takeaway.
Would you, if Reading said, "Oh, Ireland, you're doing well in Ireland," would you stay out? Would you have stayed out there? Not permanently, but extended your loan.
Yeah, no, because we got to like obviously before I got injured there, we got to like a final of like it's like Northern Ireland and Republic of Ireland, like a cup.
Yeah. So
we got to that's like League Cup basically. So we got to the final there of that, and then we was doing well in the league, and then for me, I would have stayed to the end of the season. But then obviously I got injured, and that's like a summer league. Yeah. So it was basically I got injured just before like the boys finished for the season. So then I was basically there up until November. That's when I come back fit, and then obviously I went to Barnet from there.
I was Barnet. So hold on, wait. So before you answer that, so you come back fit, and then they're like, yeah, we're shipping you out again.
Yeah.
Are you thinking? Are you starting to think, right? Did they not want me here? Or?
No, for me, like. I'm just taking this as like, I'm playing games. Like, I'm playing games. This is, for me, I hated sitting around. I hated just like, none of them players that like, yeah, I'm a part of Reading. I'm Reading first team player, but I've not played any games. I'm the player that, okay, yeah, I'm associated to Reading, that's my club, but I want to play games. So when I am ready to play, I'm ready. Yeah. Like, I know my game. Whereas players don't know their game. They're like, they play youth team games, but when they go in a first team environment, it's totally different. Like the environment is totally different, and it's either sink or swim. I think, and that's the thing. A lot of people obviously sink because they've not been in that men's environment, and it's brutal. Like it's brutal.
Do you not to name names? You know a few boys like that, or are all your boys as determined as you to play?
No, like they obviously the boys I knew I grew up with, they wanted to play, but they didn't want to do the non-league route. They wanted to go, like obviously if they've played for England and the boys are going their first loan from Arsenal or Chelsea, going to a top champ team or top of League One where they're gonna win every game, they're gonna like have possession and stuff. They're seeing that and they're thinking, I can't go now to a conference team. I can't go to a conference south team because obviously they're gonna go to their camp and get like bantered.
Yeah.
So it's a bit of an ego thing. But for me, I was just thinking like, this is my one opportunity to play football. It may not be the level I want to play at the moment, but if I keep playing and all my loans, I was just doing that gradually, each loan. And
I can see that from research.
Yeah, no, it is, But back then it was the month loan, so you could do that. Yeah, now it's like you have to do 6 months. It's crazy now. The rule changes now are hard now for a young player because now it's like you go into a club, you got to hit the ground running. Don't hit the ground running, they'll send you back. Or 3 months in, loads of loans now are getting cancelled, as you can see, because it's like you can't do them. Yeah, you're not what you signed up for and stuff like that. So yeah, for me, it was lucky that I had the month loan system back then, where I can keep just climbing the league, do well. Team looks at you, oh yeah, we'll take him, and that's how you do it. Get your name out there.
No, I hear that. At Barnet, your first, say, English pro loan, were you ready to go? Was you buzzing?
Yeah, I could. To be fair, he's only bottom of League Two, so like it was just basically like fight for survival from the start. As soon as I got in there, and it was just like the manager. I think 2 centre backs come on loan, me and a guy from West Brom, and he basically said like, yeah, you're gonna play.
Because we're struggling.
Yeah, because we're struggling. We're gonna play and just enjoy it. Like obviously don't like try and make mistakes. And it was just like so laid back. So that kind of energy, I was thinking like, oh, like there was no like pressure. Like, oh, you need to do this, you need to do that. And it was kind of like just express yourself, and that's what we did. And it was fun. I enjoyed it. Obviously being in London as well. So yeah, I could stay out with my parents and obviously get trained to the training ground. So it was good.
Decent. Was you there when it was a new training ground, or the old one?
The new training at the Hive, yeah.
Decent.
So yeah,
so it was all like top specs.
Yeah,
stuff.
it was all nice. That's what I mean. It was going to there. The only thing you had to wash your kit, but everything else was top. Yeah, and like, obviously you got the national teams come and train there and stuff. So it was
What sort of team? I know Brazil trained there.
Brazil, Sweden, I think, and a few others. Yeah, trained like when we was there sometimes.
So how long was you at Barnet for? Still the month thing?
No, that was to the end of the season. So that was I think I got there November time, all the way to the end of the season.
Keep them up?
Yeah, we stayed up last game of the season.
Decent,
yeah, it was mad. Yeah,
so
it's good.
You proper helped them.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, the manager got sacked though. 4 games to go, and then we got Martin Allen and great. Like
I heard he's a madman.
Yeah, this guy is different level. Like he kind of like just for me, he got onto me. So the first away trip was at Southend, and he basically, I was sleeping at the back of the bus. He woke me up from my sleep. And it's like, you're the youngest on the bus, teas for everyone. Like, if everyone wants a tea, you make the tea. I was thinking, nah. Like, obviously I've been bantered before in non-league, but no one's made me do teas or anything. So
are you thinking, hold on, I'm a Reading boy.
Yeah, I'm like, no, but I know. I wasn't thinking that, but I was thinking like, I'm playing that week in, week out now. No one's like, since I've been here, if this happened on the first week, then I would have think, okay, this is normal. But I thought, nah, he's bantering surely. And then the boys said, no, you have to make the teas. So obviously I made the teas and that. All the teas for everyone, and then obviously play the game. I get dragged that game after 30 minutes.
Why?
Guy scored 3 goals from set pieces. Wasn't my man, but he dragged me after 30 minutes.
That's
and then
made a shit tea then, isn't it?
Yeah, that's what everyone's saying. But yeah, no, it was mad. And like after that, so he was on me that week. Then after he dragged me, he was like my best mate. So he's like kind of tried to break me, and then I played like decent from after the next 3 games. We win 2, draw 1, and we stay up.
Better.
So it was good, yeah.
So you go back to Reading with your head held high. Do you finally play for Reading, or is there more loans after this?
Yeah, I'll go Shrewsbury, League One.
So you're stepping up.
Yeah, so now I've stepped up. They got promoted, I think, that year. So I go to Shrewsbury, League One, and then that doesn't really work out because the manager wanted me to stay. That was another thing. The manager wanted me to stay to the end of the season. And then like I wanted to move to another team. I wanted to do another step up again. And because Reading just got promoted to the Prem. So I thought, okay, if I can go to the Champ now, then if they come down, then I've got the experience ready.
Yes.
So the managers put out that I've got a bad attitude and stuff like that. Because you
said you didn't want to stay?
Yeah, because I didn't want to sign. He wanted me to sign to the end of the season, but I said, no, I want to only do what we said, 6 months.
Yeah.
So he's cancelled the loan. He stopped me from playing, cancelled my loan. So no team would touch me. I had to go Aldershot, who again, the bottom of League 2 again. So I did, I think 2 months there, and then moved to Cheltenham that were like top of League 2 that season.
Did that kind of break you? Because you're thinking, I'm doing my thing playing, and then this guy's come out of nowhere and said, I've got a bad attitude, man. All I want to do is play.
Yeah, no, but that's the thing. But then I saw the other side of football, innit, where it was like, do you know, like once someone says one bad thing about you, it can just spread. Like even though it's not true.
Yeah.
So that's when I realized, I was like, wow, like opinions matter. Like no matter who it is, it can affect you. So for me, I just kind of just thought, all right, from now on, don't say anything. Just basically like keep your head down, work hard, and like just do what you was doing before. Like don't try to say, oh, I'm not gonna do this, I'm not gonna do that. Just say, okay, the club will deal with it or stuff like that. Don't like get involved with like that type of conversation again. So then obviously I went to Aldershot and then to Cheltenham and then finished the season off like that. But the way the season was going, I started pre-season I was with the first team at Reading. Like did well.
Was that your first time with the first team?
No, I've been training with the first team, but this is like the first time where I played the game. So with the first team pre-season.
Okay.
So it was like everything was looking good.
And then Prem boys and...
Yeah, so now they're in the Prem, so I'm thinking, with the night balls and I was thinking, yeah, this is like, it's decent. But obviously went to Shrewsbury thinking, kick on again. And then, it was a bit, that was a big like eye-opener to be like, okay, opinions are a big thing in football. And because the manager at the time was like a big name that come down to Shrewsbury. So as soon as he would say something, it's right. Like everyone's gonna go along with it. So all the loans that I could have had up, just all disappeared, and only Aldershot would take me.
How did you find out that he said you got a bad attitude?
The guy from Reading, Steve Shorey, said, what's this I'm hearing? Like obviously he was surprised. He was saying like, what's this I'm hearing that you've got a bad attitude, not training properly, this and that. And I'm like, nah, this is not true. Like I'm like training hard. I want to play. Like,
did your head go a little bit or?
Not really, because at that time, I just wanted, I had like one goal in my head. I wanted to play for Reading first team, innit? So I just thought, I'm going to prove to you that my attitude, or the next club I go to, that my attitude is fine. And the manager was surprised, he said, like the Aldershot manager at the time, because he was like, I heard all this about you.
Wow, spread like that.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So
what do you do? They must send out like a fax or a text message or something.
I don't know. But a lot of, I found out like later on, I was like, how does it work? Because they just say, so obviously, if a team wants to sign you, they'll obviously go to your teams before you've been at and be like, what's Heck like? What's he like? What's he like this and stuff like that? And obviously he must have just gave some mad reference about me. So
that's mad. Like managers are out here just literally trying to ruin players' careers.
But that's why I didn't get, just because I didn't want to stay until the end of the season, and it was just like. And then I wasn't playing well as well at the time. So I started well, and then I wasn't playing well because obviously all this was going on. And then come out of the team, and then it was just basically like, we don't want you. You cancel your loan. You can go back to Reading.
Knowing what you know now, if he asked you again, if that situation happened again, what would you have said?
Speak to the club. I said like, I'm just basically just here to do my job, and it's out of my hands, which it is kind of. Really and truthfully, it is out of my hands, because I could say I want to stay. Like in Scotland, I wanted to stay, and the club said, no, we want you to come back and be with the first team. Okay. So that it happens like that. So really and truthfully, especially a loan situation, it's not in the player's hands really. Yeah. It's the club that has the final say.
But he kind of went around it sneakily, because he should have went to the club and said, I want him. Yeah, that's what could have come to you. Yeah. Rather than putting it all on you and you're still young.
And especially young shoulder, you're thinking like, just be honest. Everyone's telling me, just be honest. Be honest. Yeah. But now it's like, do you be honest? It's hard to, bro. And that's the thing now. People play the game. People will tell you what you want to hear and then go another way, and you're thinking, but you told me you wanted to stay. And then next thing you know, I signed somewhere. And but that looks bad on me as well.
Facts, yeah.
So for me, like, I'm happy that I was honest with him, because then it shows your true colours at the end of the day. So.
No, I hear that. How many games did you play for Reading before Chelsea came knocking?
I don't know. Probably like 1.5 seasons, maybe.
Okay, so you actually was before. So
that was my first full season at a club.
Before you got established as a Reading first team player, how many more loans did you go on?
So after Shrewsbury, then it was Aberdeen. So obviously after Shrewsbury, it was Aldershot. Then Cheltenham, went back pre-season, and then I went Aberdeen. And then after Aberdeen, that's when I become into the first team setup. And
in Scottish football, their fans are kind of mad.
Yeah, it's mad.
How did you acclimatise to the weather, food, language, all of that stuff? Because obviously you've been to Ireland before, but islands are kind of like London.
Aberdeen was like, it's an unbelievable city. Like I was shocked. Like, and the Scottish football in Scotland is massive.
Yeah.
So obviously you're thinking, Scottish football is not going to be like, but it's done exactly the same as obviously like the Premier League here, but just obviously people in
Smaller
Scotland.
scale,
Yeah.
But you're going there and everyone knows you. Like, you're walking through town, everyone knows you.
Yeah, Aberdeen, but that's Aberdeen because Aberdeen is like, it's a one team in the city, innit? So it's like, you try and order, like I tried to order, I think it was like pizza or something, and they're like, should you be eating this kind of thing? And it's like, them type of things I've never like experienced before.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking, I can't even, like, what can I do now? I can't do much. Like, if you go out, are people watching you? That's what you're thinking. And it's just like, I've never had that before. So that was a bit where it was kind of like, oh, now you got to be a little bit more professional in what you do. And yeah.
Any slip-ups?
Not in a way where it was detrimental to me, but the weather was mad there. So cold in Aberdeen. Like when you go up there, it's mad.
Does that affect your performance? Like, you're not used to it.
Nah, I don't like the cold anyway, so I just wrap up. But yeah, no, for me, the weather shouldn't really affect your performance.
But even in training, I know people that could have played football at a decent level, but they're going in the change room, it's freezing, they're going home dirty and all of this stuff, and they're just sacked off ball. But imagine you, like, cool, so you're going into training, it's blizzards outside, you're wrapped up, but you're still freezing. Surely you're thinking, this is long.
Yeah, nah. For me, it's like, in a way, you're like my toes. When my toes go cold, then my head is gone because you're thinking someone's going to step on your toes. It's kind of one of them ones when it's like, but you have one goal. I had one goal. I'm thinking, I need to do well. Like every line I've been to, I'm like, I need to do well because my goal is to play for Reading first team. So, like, if I'm not playing here, how am I going to play for Reading? How am I going to play at Reading? So, yeah, I hate the cold, but I've got in my head that I need to do well. Like, I'm blitzed, but I need to do well. And one of them ones where you just wear I was wearing 2 socks. I was wearing boots too big for me in training with 2 pairs of socks, 2 pairs of gloves, snood, hat, everything. But in the game, obviously, for some reason, I never wore gloves in the game. Like, I had like in my head, I can't wear gloves. Centre back can't wear gloves.
Got to be hard as nails, isn't it?
Try and be, yeah. Well,
I hear that. And then, obviously, you played a season and a half at Reading. How did that Chelsea thing come about?
It was like, to be fair, I was meant to go Palace.
So they put Chelsea and Palace?
No, so basically, I was meant to go Palace that transfer window, but at the start of the window.
Okay.
And Reading wanted me to be loaned back, but Palace wanted me to go there, obviously, permanently, like to play for them.
Yeah.
And then I think Reading finally agreed, like basically deadline day. So then they told me, okay, the Palace deal's done, the medical and stuff.
Yeah.
To be loaned back till Jan or something like that. And then obviously I'm at my uncle's house that's close to, it's like Bromley way, it's like that way. We stayed there, so then we're going to go in the medical in the morning. My dad gets a call, he comes out the room, comes back, and is like, do you want to hear the good news or the bad news? I was like, give me the bad news first, innit? Because then the good news would like cheer you up. He's like, you might not be signing for Palace. So I was like, where's the good news coming? Like, I don't get it. He's like, oh, it's another team. He's like, oh, you never guess. So,
what, did you list through the whole?
No. So I'm a Chelsea fan. So I've gone like, okay, yeah, Chelsea. He like, yeah. I was like, nah, Chelsea, bantering me, innit? Yeah. He's like, no, Chelsea's just on the phone. They want to obviously do the deal tonight and then obviously the medical tomorrow. So obviously I was like, nah. You can't, like, you're like, seriously? He's like, yeah. We've got, so my dad and my brother and my uncle drove to like Stamford Bridge, done the deal. Yeah. And then obviously had the medical the next day. But obviously Palace didn't know this. Wow. So now obviously I got Alan Pardew at the time as the manager. He's calling to say like, what's going on? Yeah. Why are you not at the medical kind of thing? And then obviously I was like, oh.
Calling you or calling
calling my dad.
Yeah.
Obviously my dad's like, you need to talk to him because you're a man. You need to talk to him because you need to say what's going on. So I was like, I'm thinking in my head though, I was thinking, wait, I thought this was told to him already. Yeah, I thought it was all like.
Why is your dad throwing you under the bus? Like, he's got the call. Wait. He's got the call to say, right, like, you might not be going Palace, but you need to speak to him. It was like, no, I would have been like, Dad, deal with that.
No, but I think it was a good decision because it was like, it's my call. At the end of the day, it's my call what team now I've got 2 teams. It's my call what team I pick. Obviously, I listen to my parents and people around me, but it's my call. So it shouldn't be coming from my dad. It should be coming from me.
I hear that.
So when I was thinking similar in my head. I was thinking, surely someone should have spoke to him already. But then I was thinking, like after, I was thinking, nah, he done the right thing to hand me the phone and me talk to him like man to man and be like, this is my reasons.
Was it an easy conversation to have, or was he pissed?
He took it very well, but he was angry at the same time because obviously he was obviously telling me that you're hearing it from the manager, you're going to play if you come here. Like, Chelsea, you're not sure if you're going to play. And I was just said, it's my team I support growing up. Like, I can't turn this move down. No chance. I said to him, like, if it's your dream move, your team you support growing up, and they come to you, you're going to turn it down? No. I don't think no one in the world would.
And the money's long.
Everyone thinks that, but it's football. It's football. It's Chelsea though, isn't it? But it's football. I think
Chelsea any Premier League, money's long. And all you getting Palace under Pardew.
It's different, but yeah.
It's different, but the money's long. You ain't gonna admit it, but the money's long. But yeah, no, I rate that. Chelsea, your team you support, you must be absolutely buzzing.
Yeah, well, it was mad. Like, obviously, I went there at the training grounds, like the first time I actually gone into the training ground. You've been there like to play academy and stuff. But the first time I went in there and I was just like, this is mad. The chefs behind, like, what do you want to eat? Stuff like that. Like, it's just like, it's another level. Like, Reading wasn't, like the chef at Reading was good. And he come from Chelsea, but then it went to like 10 times that. And it was just like, basically, whatever you could think of is there. And it's just like, then obviously I met Mourinho. And he was just like, just work hard. Obviously, Reading want you to obviously go back there. So you go back there pre-season. You go, obviously, come back with us after the loan. And then you work to break into the first team here. And then he gets sacked. And then it was just like...
But he's dropped in another loan.
Back to Reading. So,
but you're comfy there, innit? Like...
Yeah, no, for me, it was... it was weird because the manager that I love playing for, Steve Clark, he then gets sacked, I think, November time. So
and he was at Chelsea, innit? Yeah,
so that's what... And then I spoke to him. He's the one who kind of lined up the move because obviously I spoke highly of me to Chelsea and I kind of knew there was something wrong, like, or something up, especially me moving, because at the start of the season, he said to him, like, he pulled me in his office. He said, I was going to make you captain, but I'm going to make you vice captain and you'll see why, obviously, in the weeks to come. So I was thinking in my head, like, what do you mean? You either make me captain or you don't. Like, you don't say...
Well, how old are you at this time?
23.
And he was willing to make you captain?
So for me, it was a big honour, like, to obviously captain Reading and that. But it was... And obviously now, then I realised it was because Palace I was meant to move to Palace permanently. Yeah. But then, obviously, they wanted me to come back on loan. That's another reason why, because he felt we had the squad good enough to obviously go get promoted.
Back to Chelsea move. So your first day there, how do you know where to go, like where to sit in the change room and stuff? Is it all laid out for you, or is it? Yeah,
so that obviously I went on loan, then come back. Actually, my loan got cut short at Reading, so obviously I started the back end of the season when I think Hellenic was the manager.
Okay.
So everything, like someone meets you, someone met me because it was my first day at the door, like play liaison, and took me to where I needed to go, showed me like everywhere that you need to go, like obviously the gym and stuff like that. Because obviously you have a tour when I got signed, but it's so big that I didn't have a clue where everything was. So and then after that, trained with the first team, and it was good. It was surreal kind of thing because it's the players I grew up watching, like John Terry and that, are there now, and you're training with them. So it was crazy.
Starstruck?
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, I was a little bit, but then obviously when you start training, that goes out the window. Obviously when you're sitting down speaking to them, you're kind of like, because I was a big Chelsea fan. Like growing up, before I got into football, like I was diehard. Like it was crazy. Like when you're growing
posters on your wall and that bed sheets?
Not posters on the wall, but you know the ones I'm always getting into arguments in school over football. Okay. You know the ones where it's just like everything affects you. Like if they lose, you're angry, and little things like that. And it was just like, obviously nowadays I'm more chill because obviously you're in the industry and stuff like that. And it kind of like, not pulls it away from you, but the teams you go to, you kind of feel a little bit. So every loan I've been on, I kind of look at the results for the teams because obviously I have a feeling for the club now.
No, I hear that. Did any players like take you under their arm and show you the ropes and stuff like that, or would you just man up and do it all yourself?
Nah, John Terry on the first pre-season tour. Like obviously he's from Barking, so he was kind of cool like to me straight away. But everyone said he's good with like the new players coming in anyway. But he knew I liked to play golf, so when we was in America, he said, "Oh, let's go golf." So me and him and Kudachini, who was the coach at the time, went like golf, and we played around the golf in it was like a posh golf club, and we was in like just our training kit, and everyone's looking at us like, "What's
What, your Chelsea boys, is it?
But they're on that level now where they can kind of like get away with that." But yeah, he was always cool. Like, and even like when I went on loan, he texted me straight away when I was struggling or when I was doing well. He was just always like,
was that John Terry? Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, decent.
So he was cool. Like, he's a cool guy, very cool guy.
I'm a big fashion man, yeah. And when I look at football, and I'm thinking, cool, like I'll be onto a man who dresses shit. When you went in there, who was like best dressed and who turned up in some bullshit?
That's the thing. So
I'm talking training, because obviously at match days you wear your tracksuits.
Yeah. It was weird because it was like, because I was only there for pre-season, there's like 4 different change rooms there at Chelsea. So it's like I was with the players that are just breaking into the team. So I was like Tammy's, Tomori's, Masunda's, people like that.
Yeah.
So we was all in like our change room, not with like the first team, because it's like once they know who's there, then you go into the.
Okay.
So I was never in that change room because I was never there after pre-season.
Yeah.
I think Germany was the closest when my shirt was printed, and then I went on loan.
Oh, so you was ready to go?
Yeah,
into that
and then obviously.
But even out of that group, surely you're thinking certain man dress.
Nah, I think most people dress safe, because it's like they're all sponsored, innit? So they just wear like the Adidas tracksuits or the Nike. No one, I've never seen anyone come in like stuff, and you're thinking, nah, you can't wear that. What's that? Like the colours are mad and all that.
Yeah.
But yeah, for me, I think it's more when you go on loan and you're in the first team environment, then you have obviously the characters like some of the players from Africa and that they're dressing like bright colours and that like match with sandals and stuff like that, and it's crazy.
What's the vibe like? Like, everyone looks at Chelsea and, just think everything should, like, it's professional, Is it strict and stuff, or is it just like, come here, you know what you got to do and do your job?
It's not, I think it's just like a normal, obviously not normal football club because it's got everything there, but it's like the core of it is normal. But obviously the players there are special. They've got high quality players. Yeah. So that's what makes the training different and stuff like that. But the banner and that is similar. Obviously not to the extreme at some of the things you see, obviously in non-league or in a like League 1 or League 2, because obviously the stuff's worth a bit more. You're not gonna cut up someone's trainers. You're not gonna do stuff because obviously it's worth a lot more money. But or it's new.
Are they doing that at Chelsea? Yeah.
No, I've not seen that. But obviously when I went non-league, there was a keeper that wore like the same like banged out trainers, and like someone said, "Oh, if you wear that again next game, we're gonna cut it up." He wore it next game, just got destroyed, and it's like things like that you don't see because obviously everyone wears new stuff or the stuff's nice, so it's not gonna be obviously banged out. So yeah, little things that you take for granted, the banter and that you don't see as much. Obviously, it's banter, but it's a different type. It's different type of banter. It's a bit.
I hear that. Another loan, but you go to Germany.
Yeah.
Was that a straight yes, or did you have to and ah? Because it's
no. So I went to So I went to view the club first, but as soon as I was flying over, like Frankfurt, you fly over the stadium.
Yeah.
So as soon as I flew over and the person said, "Oh, the stadium's just there on the right," I looked at the stadium. I was like,
"You're in a private jet?"
No. This is a normal flight. But someone from Frankfurt come with us on the flight and was just showing us. And once I seen the stadium, I didn't even look at the city. I saw the stadium. I was like, "Yeah, I want to play here. Like, this would be a very good." I felt a very good year. The feeling I had of the place and there's people around, I felt this would be very good.
So you go there initially for how long?
Season long loan.
Season, yeah?
Yeah, season long loan.
Did you get sent off your first game?
First 2 games.
Both sort of straight
So
sent?
yeah, they do. Now the first game was the 2 yellow cards. So they do like a cup competition first. So it's like the League Cup. No, it's like FA Cup basically. Okay. So it's the FA Cup, but they start it like that's the first game of the season.
Oh, so straight into a cup.
Straight into the cup, but they do it. So from League One down, if you get drawn against a team above, you get the home advantage.
So the lower team gets home advantage.
So they get home advantage no matter what the draw is. So obviously we draw against a lower team, and but this was like, think of Millwall times 10.
What, fans wise,
it's like hooligans. It's like there's a crossover between Germany and Poland or something.
Okay.
It's like they said it's like a Nazi part of Germany, like way. Yeah. So the guy was saying to me like, the translator was saying, they might say something racist in the game because it gets like that there. Yeah. But you may not understand it because it'll be in German.
Yeah.
Or they might make like the noise and stuff like that. And I was thinking, it can't be like this, like. But then you get to the stadium, it's mad. Sorry to cut you.
Have you ever experienced any form of racism prior to that? Not saying you.
No, not me. Not me. Like as in on the pitch. Obviously outside of it, like driving and stuff like that. But not like as in like someone in the crowd or a player. No, I've never. But it was weird because at Sheffield Wednesday, someone got caught meant to be racially abusing me. But obviously I didn't hear it because obviously in the crowd. Yeah, but away from home. It was up at Stoke.
Okay.
So, but they have like obviously plainclothes police in like in amongst the fans. So they caught him saying something to me, but they said, "Have I heard anything?" Didn't hear a thing.
Mad. So let's go back to Germany. So you're gearing up to play this game with potential. You could get potentially racially abused. Yeah. Did you get any?
No. But
why did you get sent off?
No, the whole game was just hostile from the start. Like the game was just like our fans are like notorious like ultras. They're like crazy. And obviously these fans are like meant to be the head of them. So our fans just come in with a big like bomb, like firework. So we're warming up and there's like probably 2,000 men with like face paint, hoods, running like, and you just hear a bang. And then I'm thinking like, what's going on here? Like everyone's jumping and then they think, started throwing fireworks. This is a warm up. Started throwing fireworks, flares at each other. Yeah, at each other. So you're thinking, okay, the game got like suspended for like another 5-10 minutes. So we had to like wait in the tunnel. Playing the game now, we start playing well, get 1-0 up, I think. Game gets stopped again. They're fighting, they're trying to fight. They're ripping up the stadium. And I'm thinking, this is mad. But obviously you're built up, like you're getting the adrenaline, because it's like 30,000 in like a League One team, but full. You can like just like, and they're chanting the whole game. No matter if they're winning or losing, they're just chanting the whole game. Like,
what are you thinking? Like, you're playing. So what's going on? Are you thinking?
So you're playing. I'm playing. I'm thinking like this is my first game. Like I'm playing well, and like I just make this like a normal tackle, but obviously get booked for it.
Whereas in England, you probably wouldn't.
I wouldn't have got. So like that's what they obviously after the game they said like you just need to calm down with like the type of tackle you make.
Yeah.
And then it goes into extra time now. We're winning. Guy goes across, but I make a good tackle, clean, but just aggressive, like a normal.
So you lifted him.
Yeah, basically. But then I get booked again. So obviously I've been sent off now. So I'm thinking, surely not. My debut, we're winning away from home as well in the cup, and I was thinking, this loss going on here. We win the game, so everything's cool. Manager talks to me, I need to calm down with the tackles because of like Germany is different. So now we play the first league game. I can play. So I was thinking I'm suspended for the league game, but he said, no, you can play. So I was like, fine, so everything's cool. Winning 1-0, I think it was against Schalke. Yeah, winning 1-0 against Schalke. Striker goes through, but as he's gone through, I'm chasing him, but he's slowing down because he's seen me behind him.
Yeah. So
I've like clipped the back of his heels. He's gone down. Because it's outside the box, it's a automatic red card. They said, if your guy scores, I get 1 game. If he doesn't score, I get 3 games.
What, if he scores the free kick?
Yeah, that's what they said. That's the rule in Germany. So he's hit the wall. I'm thinking, but then almost scored straight after.
Yeah.
But because he hit the wall, I got 3 games automatically.
That's mad. That is mad.
So my first 2 games, 2 red. Yeah.
How did you find being that far away from home? Obviously, you've done the little loans here and there, but now you're in a completely different country, thousands of miles away. How did you deal with that?
To be fair, I loved it. Germany was like such a, like Frankfurt itself, because of the airport and stuff, the people around it, they're very, like they speak obviously very good English. And I go to a restaurant, they speak to you in English. Like everyone, even in the club, they want to speak to you in English. They want to show you that they can speak English.
Yeah.
So like me trying to learn German was kind of impossible because they wanna like show you, oh yeah, I can speak, like talk to you, or what's this in English and little things like that. And it was just like, yeah, for me, I loved it. I loved the city. I loved the place there, and the club was really good to me as well.
Decent. Let's fast forward a bit. A few more loans again, and then Fulham come knocking. Did you think I need to go and, I'm tired of the loans, let me get a permanent move where I can actually play as a first teamer?
Yeah, no, for me it was important because obviously the stage I am as a man as well, I have a family now. So growing up, you can move around here, then everywhere, but to do that with kids is tough. Like, and I realised that more when I was at Sheffield, because obviously I was either away from my kid or was driving or on the train.
Yeah.
With a child that's under one it's impossible. Yeah. And like for him to get into a routine, to go nursery and stuff like that, he needs to be at a base somewhere. Yeah. So for me, I was like, okay, I need to, even if it's a team up north or a team down south, I need to find a team that's good for me and a base that I can now play football and all these loans, all the experience I've been to, give it to this team and to play in that team.
And you chose Fulham. It's not a bad spot to pick in the centre of London. Get me? Family settled now, yeah, I take it?
Yeah, no. I'm from East, but I have a house in Essex, so that's where my base is, my foundation's there.
Decent. Back in the champ now. Well, you through your loans and stuff, you're used to playing champ. Are you thinking, this is my time, I'm going to prove that I'm one of the best defenders in the champ?
Yeah, no, for me, obviously, I couldn't play until Jan, so that was another thing that was like...
Why was that?
The paperwork went... So obviously deadline day again, I've done about 6 deadline day moves, but they've all gone through. This is the first time where it was like permanent move, and it messed up. Like they put it through like 5 minutes too late. Because I think it was like 6 players at the time, so I was thinking, if I'm the last player, how's this going to happen? Like, so that didn't go through, so I obviously had to wait until Jan to play. And for me, I knew that the quality I have can help this team obviously get promoted. That was the goal. When I first signed, the owner sat me down and said, this is what we want to do. Yeah. We want to get back in the Prem and stay there. That's their goal.
During that 6-month period, how are you keeping fit? What are you doing? Who are you training with?
So, obviously Scott Parker wanted me to train there. So he spoke to Chelsea and said, like, can we get there? Because of insurance, you can't train there or something like that. So they had to like sign something to say like they will cover anything that goes wrong, or they said, well, the transfer will go through on Jan no matter what, kind of thing. And Chelsea obviously agreed to that. So I just trained with Fulham. What was that? Basically pre-season for 6 months. So that was a nice spot.
Promotion with Fulham. Happy days.
Yeah, no.
Going into the Prem, started off all right and then just kind of like dipped a bit. Why do you think that is? Is it you not being able to handle the Prem, or is it just a whole different entity? I know we touched on it earlier, but how are you handling this jump? Because you've wanted to play in the Prem your whole career.
Nah, for me, it was just like, I don't know, like, I'm not going to use the fans as like a excuse, but like for me, my best games are in big games. Like all my career, that anytime that I've played in big games, I've always played well. And it's like, I've got to the Prem now, and everything I dreamed of from the Premier League is like, games always sold out.
And all of that,
crazy, like, obviously not going to be like Germany levels, but it's going to be like sold out. Every team you go to is going to be sold out. The cameras and just everything about the Premier League, what everyone loves about it. And then it's like, you get there and it's just like empty stadiums. It was just weird, like for me. And that's when I realized, I was thinking like, you need to kind of, but then it was kind of like, I've already at the team now when I realized that.
Yeah.
And it's like, now that I've come out of the team and I've not been playing for like the last month or so, I've realized that I had to get myself going. The same way I got myself going for the Wembley game.
Yeah.
That's what I needed to do before. You can't rely on the fans to get you up for the game. You need to get yourself up because you need to realise how important it is. But I just thought that I've got to this, like, where I wanted to get to, and it wasn't like, it's not how I pictured it growing up. And that's the thing that...
Is it that much of a difference?
The quality?
No, just like not having fans there, because it's still the same quality on the pitch.
Yeah.
But no fans. Surely it's a bit more relaxing.
Yeah, but for me, like, I need that adrenaline. I need that rush of the fans. Whereas it's like a training game. That's what every game feels like, a training game. It feels like it's behind closed doors, like a pre-season. You know, like in games when they play in national duty, where it's like us against, and they play some of the players that have not gone away with it, like on the national break. That's how it feels like every game. Only until you go after the game and obviously you see everyone like match of the day and this and the other talking about it. But there's no atmosphere in the game. Like, you have to basically create your own atmosphere. And I think that's what we did well last season, like after the lockdown. Yeah. And we obviously not done that well enough, because obviously you're expecting now people to come to Fulham, and obviously it's not going to be like going to Burnley or going to like where it's horrible. Yeah. But the fans help you in a way where it's like make it a little bit uncomfortable for the team that's coming. Whereas now teams come here, it's nice. They're going to come to London and play, and it'll be a nice game, where you don't really want that. As a team coming up, you want it to be horrible. For any team that comes there, you want it to be horrible.
No, I hear that. Let's talk Jamaica now, representing your national team. How did that come about?
Well, obviously my dad's fully Jamaican and my mum's half Jamaican, half English. But from growing up, my dad's always wanted me to play for Jamaica. Okay. The funny thing, he played cricket for England, like youth, growing up. And he said he wish he never did. So that's another thing why he probably was so hard on me to steer me towards playing for Jamaica. Like,
so how did the call come about? Who calls you?
A few of the boys from Reading were playing for Jamaica at the time.
And they said,
so they were like, we want you to play. And then obviously it was just sorting out the passport. But obviously, because my grandparents have passed, it was tough to get their paperwork, because obviously they've come over from Jamaica, and obviously you know what's happened, all their stuff's gone. So it's like finding that the birth certificate, death certificate and all that was just a bit, it was a bit mad.
Like,
so
that hard,
I probably took like a year, maybe 18 months to sort it out properly.
Wow, I didn't even know all of that. I thought it was just literally...
Yeah, no, that's what you think. You think it, but that's if you've not got the passport. I didn't have a Jamaican passport, I only had a UK passport. So for some of the boys, that's how it's like. And that's what we're finding out now as well, with players starting a bit later, because they've tried to be in the 2-year process to get
it makes sense. No, it makes sense. So when you finally go out there, what's your thoughts like? What's the hotels like? What's that, the playing quality like?
The standard of players is actually decent. Like, they're very good, but it's just their football knowledge, the understanding of certain situations in the game.
What's that, staff or players?
Both, to be fair. Both. Like, some staff want you to just, like, they think you should be 4 or 5-0 up. You're playing against like a team that you're better than. Yeah. You should be 4 or 5-0 up, no matter what. You're thinking like, okay, but they've now parked 11 players behind the ball. What, like, how we break them down? Scored a goal, like, just like they expect, like me going as a centre back, they expected me, because I'm at Chelsea. Yeah, they expect me to get the ball, dribble through everyone, and score it.
So is that the mentality they got? Yeah.
Some of the people, it's like that. Obviously, some of the coaches, they understand a bit more, so you can work with that a bit more. But obviously, some of the mentality, the people there, they're thinking, okay, you're a big player, you need to do big things, kind of thing, and like you should bring this team up with you, no matter what.
All of this, you keep saying your goal was to make it to the Prem. Did you write stuff down? Did you have like a vision board or something to say, right, I'm here now, da 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 da?
Yeah, when I first was at Reading, we had to like make short, medium and long term like targets.
What, the club installed that?
No, they basically, like, I was seeing like a psychiatrist lady, and she just said like, it's better to, if you have goals, you can like visually see if you're ticking it off or not, like if you're, or what you can do to get to them goals. And it don't have to be like, it could be with football, but it can also be outside of football, like having a house or doing like a business plan or stuff like that as well. So I done like obviously short-term goals. Was like to play a certain amount of games at Reading. Short-term goals to play. Medium-term goals was like to start a family, have a house, play obviously for Jamaica and stuff like that. And for me, obviously long-term was obviously playing a Prem. Obviously try and play in Europe. That's a tough one, but for me, these things were important because obviously without a goal, it's like what you just basically just ticking off days. And for me, it was important to set these targets out and to try and fulfill them each day. Football
seems like a luxury job, and I'm kind of glad you've kind of simplified it and given yourself tasks to do that. I think that's something younger players that are coming up should do really. And it seems like you've ticked off your short term and your middle term goals, and you're just trying to get into Europe now. But good luck, mate.
No, I appreciate it.
Thanks for coming on, man. Your story's amazing. Your journey's good, and I wish you luck in the future, man.
No, I appreciate it. Thanks.
All right, cool. Quick fire round. Best player you played with?
Oh,
you've been at Chelsea as well, so think hard.
I'll say Hazard, innit? Yeah, Hazard from there.
Best manager you've had?
To play, like playing under, I would say Steve Clark.
Worst trainer?
Worst trainer.
Doesn't have to be like the worst footballer, just
someone who's like bad at training. Yeah. I'm trying to think. There's been some bad trainers I've had. Al-Habsi, the goalkeeper. Ali Al-Habsi, but he in the winter, this guy didn't want to like.
Serious? Do you want to say
his hands were like, it's mad. But he's a good guy, very good guy, very good guy.
Best stadium you've played in?
Bayern Munich Stadium's mad.
Yeah.
The new one, the Allianz Arena.
Decent. Changing room clown.
There's a guy called Sam Deering, from when I was at Barnet.
Yeah.
Non-league legend now, but this guy is mad. Yeah. And I'll never forget him. Yeah, never forget him.
Decent. Player you've played with that's most likely to be a manager?
Kevin McDonald now at Fulham. Okay. He's doing his coaching badge as well, so he's seen,
Best atmosphere?
It's got to be the cup final, German cup final. At the time, when you're going in the game, you're like in the zone in it.
Yeah.
And I watched videos back and stuff, and it just looks mad.
Decent.
So
Most money spent on a night out?
About £200 Las Iguanas. Cocktails, but I don't get them free.
Big Chelsea player just doing up Las Iguanas. I've seen it all now. Best fancy dress outfit you've seen?
Ooh. Nah, it's got to be. I'm thinking of the worst. It's got to be Jamie Mackey. He dressed like a cheerleader in Ireland at Reading. It was mad. It was mad.
Biggest fine you've paid?
I can't even. €10,000.
For what?
Late to training, Germany.
Mad. Most memorable moment?
Promotion. Like football-wise, you're saying?
Yeah.
Yeah, promotion to the Premier League, yeah. Wembley.
What would you have been if you wasn't a footballer? Don't say cricketer.
Nah, I can never lie. I couldn't play cricket. Like, this game's too. I don't even know. I was thinking that before. I don't know. I actually don't know. Like maybe something like a coach or something, but I wouldn't have loved to do it. Like it just would have been
a job.
Yeah, like that's. Yeah.
And biggest regret?
Biggest regret? Never playing at Upton Park.
Local, innit?
Yeah, that's like I've always wanted to like play there and walk home. That was like the one thing that I regret. Like that's the only regret I have in football because the stadium went before I got a chance to play there. So yeah, for me, Upton Park, not be able to play there.
Decent. Thanks for that, man. Thank you for sitting on the Judy.